The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
From the island of Bimini, this is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition, with news anchor Shashina Rowe and sportscaster Ricardo Lightboard.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, and we're coming to you live from the Gateway Gymnasium. This broadcast is made possible by BTC's fiber optic network. I'm Shashina Rowe, and as always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news as the government continues its push to revive Grand Bahama's tourism sector, concerns are still being raised regarding the future of a resort which was once a leading property on the island. John Davis Rowe has our top story.
For decades, the Royal Oasis Resort and Casino was considered a playground for the rich and famous. But since 2004, the resort has become home to vagrants and vandals as it sits in a state of disrepair. Although the Harcourt Group acquired the property years ago, it remains in an unsightly and unacceptable state. This according to the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Davo, who says the government is very concerned.
Over the last 20 months, from the Ministry of Grand Bahama, we have had about 12 to 14 potential investors look at that property. I'm sad to say that despite a lot of potential talk, we have not found an investor who's prepared to take that property from where it is to a point or where it needs to be.
The Royal Oasis Resort was once a single major employer here in Grand Bahama. Many say that when it closed, it sucked the economic lifeblood out of Freeport. Now, according to the Minister for Grand Bahama, the government is making several attempts to attract new investors.
I was pleased to have representatives from the People's Republic of China look at that property to decide whether or not it could be a potential site for investors to set up shop and bring potential buyers from throughout the Caribbean to look at potential manufactured goods. That is still in the air, but we see that particular property as an ideal property for a college or a school, but unfortunately today that property still is unoccupied and is deteriorating as we speak. The Ministry for Grand Bahama and the Grand Bahama Port Authority have had discussions about the property on the way forward, and we have some potential ideas on where we would go, but to definitively say that we have a plan for the Princess Hotels would be untrue.
The government, he says, is also cognizant of the fact that this abandoned and dilapidated resort is located on prime real estate property. Hence, a decision must be made about its fate.
It is an eyesore in the city, and my personal opinion is that if we cannot come to some agreement with that property, we have to talk about actually tearing it down and ensuring that we create a new facelift for our community. We are now on the resurgence with our tourism product, and we cannot afford to have our city appear to be run down and not in good state.
John Davis Rowe, ZNS Network News.
In other news, 13 migrants found on Grand Bahama and are now at the detention center. 6 Macedonians, 4 Brazilians, and 3 Haitians, including a child, were all transported to the capital, all on board a Pineapple Air flight. Reports say the Macedonians and Brazilians were all taken into custody this past Sunday at the domestic airport in Freeport after checking in a flight to Miami from Bimini. Immigration officials tell us that they arrived in Nassau 3 weeks ago and were living at various locations on Grand Bahama. The 3 Haitians were arrested at the Lucayan Harbor on Sunday after officers reportedly discovered that they were in possession of fraudulent U.S. visas. In other news, residents and visitors alike were all going coconuts yesterday as they headed to the east for the traditional cultural festival. Megan Shepard made the trip.
The 16th annual Coconut Festival growing bigger and better this year in the Pelican Bay community, with numerous coconut dishes, local Bahamian talents and families gathering in large numbers. Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama Peter Turnquest calling it a truly Bahamian experience. He says such festivals keep tradition alive and allows tourists to have a true cultural experience.
Well, these festivals bring life to these communities, not only in terms of the economics that it provides for the residents, but also it just brings the family and friends back to the community, which means a lot in terms of preserving the culture and sharing it with generations. Of course, we're very happy to share this with guests, particularly our international guests, who have been coming out for many years to share with us on this experience.
General Manager in the Ministry of Tourism, Betty Bethel, says the festival is an important element for the ministry as they celebrate the 50th year of the Tourism Act. Committee member and one of the founding members, Eleanor Stewart, says she's pleased to see the growth of the festival over the past 16 years.
And it's one of those events that we really like to support because it demonstrates our cultural and heritage experience for the guests that are on Grand Bahama Island. And I believe, as far as I've observed, this has been one of the better festivals. We have, conservatively speaking, a minimum of 150 visitors that are here. And those that came on scheduled transportation and those that just ventured out on their own. So we're really very excited. We're excited about the venue, the upgrades that have been made to the venue, and more importantly, the numerous coconut delicacies that are available this year.
I feel extremely great today. When I think about it, I can see coconut at its very best. We started out showing off the beautiful beach, and like the Permanent Secretary mentioned, one of the most beautiful beaches in the Bahamas. And now, as you can see, Megan, the crowd is here. Folks are enjoying themselves, and you can see coconut, like I say, at its best. We have coconut this and coconut that, and we are really, I'm proud, extremely proud today.
Performances included the Grand Bahama Pop Band, and national headliner Abby, who took crowd participation to the next level.
It's paradise, and to see the community get together is absolutely wonderful.
Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
And here's a look at tonight's trivia question from Bimini.
Hi, I'm Scooper, and the question of the night is, who wrote the first song about Ernest Hemingway?
And of course, you'll have to stay tuned until the end of tonight's newscast to hear the answer to that question. We're coming to you live from the Gateway Gymnasium. Tonight, our ZNS News team will take on the Pastors of Bimini in a basketball tournament. We'll have the story on that tomorrow evening. But stay tuned. The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition, live from Bimini, is back right after this.
The resort has rooms for only $79 plus taxes. With free internet, laundry,
Elections are not far away, and while some practitioners are still battling with the thought of whether or not to offer for re-election, here in Bimini, one serving member is reflecting on the success of the system of local governance. While he admits that they have faced many challenges, he says he's motivated by the desire to bring change to his community. Natalie Martinborough has that story.
Familiar cry in local government districts nowadays, inadequate funding. Councillor Lorick Roberts says they haven't been able to invest in community projects in Bimini because most of the funds have been going to salaries and for garbage collection. But he says there is some good news as central government only recently intervened.
Most of our money went out on garbage, and we used to pay for the landfill and the barging of the garbage to South Bimini, where the landfill is, and the caretaking of the landfill. So when we didn't do all that, we never had no money, never to do no project. But the government has, in the last 5 months, has taken over the contract for the barging and the landfill.
Now this intervention frees up cash for some much-needed community projects. Councillor Roberts says they have already commenced work on a park in Poggy Bay that will include a basketball court. ABC Golf Cart Rentals has committed to assisting with that initiative. They are also planning to construct playgrounds, cabanas, and a baseball field on the island as well. But Robert says he is most relieved to begin work on a park in South Bimini.
So we're getting ready to clean up some property and put a cabana there. We're going to put a basketball court over there also. We're going to put some sitting benches there. We're going to put a playground over there for the smaller kids. You know, and it does my heart well to say that, because that was one of my main objects I really wanted for South Bimini.
Yet he says the biggest project to be undertaken by the local government council over in Bimini is the development of a community centre. With the help of Urban Renewal, the local government council is aiming to transform the old clinic into a centre that everyone can enjoy.
So we're going to refurbish the whole building inside and out and make it conducive to a community centre where we'll have one area with about 10 computers, 8 to 10 computers. We're going to enlarge for a meeting room. We're going to have a library. We're going to do a decent little kitchen. We're going to make it into a place where kids could go in the evening time who don't have computers home or no help with their home, where people could come in and help them.
Natalie Martinborough, ZNS Network News.
Well, he comes from a long line of talented Biminites whose gifts and talents are recognized around the world. For Ambassador Tommy Saunders, his work has brought great international acclaim to the island of Bimini and the country as a whole.
Stuff that float up on the beach.
Bimini native 75-year-old Tommy Saunders was born with gifted hands. From airplanes and jets to footballs, Saunders says anything can be made with the right touch and the right coconut. As a young boy, he used coconuts to make a variety of objects, and now that he is a man, his talent is making way for him to display his crafts for tourists who travel on the superfast ferry from throughout the world.
They made everything out of the fields without any sort of metallic. An entire boat, chopper, jet, sailboat is made strictly of a coconut, including I make the brushes to varnish these from the coconut palm also. So to put one of these together, you don't need to go to the hardware store for anything.
Well, he says just about everything. He adds that occasionally there is one thing that may be purchased from a hardware store.
Most you might need is glue. That's if you can't get to a sapodilly tree, a mastic tree, or any tree with that sort of a gum, then you would use something from the hardware. But I never bought anything as far as stuff from the hardware is concerned, except for tools.
He says the secret behind his craft lies within the shape of the coconut. But is there a market for this type of work?
I can't make them fast enough. That's the market. The market, I'm doing some for the Bimini, Bimini Bay. And I have stuff to make for the Bimini Sands over South Bimini. I even didn't get there to them yet. And some other stuff to put on the ship, some rod and reel. And I got a few things in the Big Game Fishing Club, the outfitter shop in there.
Saunders says it is his prayer that the youth of Bimini look at this type of work as a serious way of making a living. Now, nicknames are rather common in Family Island communities. They are names usually invented for someone and are generally used humorously or affectionately. Now, when it comes to nicknames, Bimini takes the cake. Take a look at this.
My nickname is Bugsy. Bugsy Seagal, the gangster. That's who I was named after. It's been given to me in high school, in Hawksbill High School.
My nickname is Humpy. When I was little bit younger and going to school, I had the biggest head in Bimini and still got it. And they call me Humpty Dumpty, and they changed it from Humpty Dumpty to Humpty. That's how I ended up with that.
Nickname is Red. I used to do a deep free diving. I used to do 75 feet straight down, and my head always to be yellow red.
But 10 nicknames. Which one you want? You got Stevie S, you got Heads of Mighty, you got Buckethead. Look at the size of this.
They call me Tiny because I was a twin. I was a 7-month baby.
Oh, quite a bit. Piccolo Pete.
My nickname is Bedevil. Because I was a little wicked fella during the time, not so bad. Would be named the Devil, but whatever.
Danny Boy, Calypso Jordan.
My name is Cecil, and my nickname in Bimini is the Big One. And why I call myself the Big One? Because I'm big and I do everything big in Bimini.
Simca, Lord Gallagher.
My name is Dolomite. I get a nickname because I'm different.
Marco, Miracle Man. I did so much things, but
I'm different. All over to the back, whatever.
I'm different. Stay with us. Ricardo Nature Boy Lightborn has to check on sports when we come back.
Welcome to Sports, everybody. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Let me tell you what a day it has been down here in Bimini. As you do know, the Bombers Swift track and field team is on their way home from Martinique and Dishes Championships. The kids here in Bimini, many were hoping to make that team, but guess what? The Louise McDonald School has got a lot of talent, and it was displayed in their annual inter-house track and field competition. This is the height of the track and field season, and the students in Bimini are no different than those on Grand Bahama or New Providence. The Louise McDonald School Inter-House Sports Meet was competition featuring the Yellow Sharks, Blue Marlins, and the Red Barracudas. The athletes went for broke because it's all about house pride, and those speedsters showed up. Now that's the kind of effort you need, and you get a hug. Let's go to the sack races. Here's where you really better know what you're doing, and you better be good with it. The boys have this thing packed down. Barracudas, Sharks, Marlins, who wanted the most? 100 meters was an event of the day, and the real speedsters showed up. Their talent and the students in Bimini, boy, they have it. Bimini world famous announcer making sure that the parents and fans were up to speed on the meet. The Red Barracudas said that they are the team to beat. The Blue Marlins had their share of bragging. The Yellow Sharks said, bring it on, to Lisa Pinder. Hey, you sure of that?
They have the best coach, and everybody know that with practice and a good coach, you have what it takes to be the winner. And we're going to be the defending champions, right?
For 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, Yellow Sharks, go on and show your opponents what they are up against. Now, the Blue Marlins, Shireen Pinder, said it's a matter of just getting the trophy.
I have 4 really fast runners in the races, for the races. 100, 200, 400, even the relay.
Okay, Red Barracudas, make a statement and let them know who is the best, right, Miss Grant?
We are in first place. We're doing very well. They've done everything they've been taught to do, and we are in first place, and I hope we stay in first place. The Sharks are not, no, the Sharks are out of it. The Barracudas will beat them.
The Louise McDonald Inter-House Track and Field competition was a blast. You want to know who won? They all did, and congratulations. Now the Gateway Basketball Tournament is going to start tomorrow right here at the Gateway Gymnasium. They got teams coming in from Abaco as well as Andros, Grand Bahama. 2 teams supposed to come in from New Providence, and it's going to be a fun-filled event. Gateway Eagles and Louise McDonald Blue Marlins said, bring it to here, and you'll see exactly how well you'll play. That's a look at your sports tonight.